Chris Megan fishing along the Elizabeth Islands. Oh, man.
They are all beauties.
There is just something about the fall in New England. When the sun is out and the foliage is at peak, it's like driving into a Norman Rockwell painting filled with shades of amber, yellow, orange, and red. Our journey north from Cape Cod took us nearly 7 hours before the pavement gave way to dirt in Downeast, Maine. Weatherby's Lodge on Grand Lake awaited us at the end of isolated logging roads and Maine preserves. Arriving at Weatherby's, there was little time to waste, and before long we were geared up and heading out with local guide and owner of the lodge, Jeff McEvoy, for a day of fishing on Grand Lake Stream.
Now, how are these as far as sight casting too?
You know, a lot of times fishing streamers, you're fishing a longer line, so you basically know where the fish are lying and just put your fly to them. But when you're sight fishing for, you know, nymph fishing and stuff, you stand right next to them and just
get up ahead and just keep dropping it down. Hopefully get it on there without spooking them.
Yeah, well, they don't spook too easily, actually. But yeah, basically we're just trying to get it out into the edge of the fast water. And on here, this is a sink tip with a sinking leader. So I usually strip it up to the leader.
Okay.
I tend to fish my streamers really fast, and I like to pull them all the way up onto the gravel because the fish will come out of nowhere chasing them. You know, they come out of the lakes, they're used to chasing smelt all summer, so they'll react to streamers or something that threatens them or that pisses them off.
Yeah.
And this fly is called the one-eyed poacher, which was based on a character in a series of books named the One-Eyed Poacher. Actually, they were short stories published in the New Yorker magazine back in the 40s, and written by a guy named Edmund Ware Smith. So the characters in the book were all based on real people in the community, and they're hysterical. They're very funny. There was a local guy, Bob Upham. He was known as the River Master. He passed away a couple years ago, but he came up with this pattern called the One-Eyed Poacher, which is basically a Mickey fin with a mallard flank over the top, and it's got one eye.
What's this body of water we're fishing?
Well, we're fishing Grand Lake Stream, which is about 3 miles of river between West Grand Lake and Big Lake. Yeah, we're right here. We're probably 50 miles, 40 miles from tidal water. So historically, it was an Atlantic salmon river. So the Atlantic salmon would come in here and spawn, and then go back to the ocean. At some point, some of those fish decided to stay here because they had what they needed. They had a big lake, which became their ocean, and then they evolved into a subspecies, basically, of the Atlantic salmon. Genetically identical, same genus and species, but they don't go to the salt water.
They don't go to the salt anymore.
So a lot of the same habits. They migrate every year from the lake to the river to spawn, and then they go back to the lakes in the winter or in the spring once the ice goes out.
After a quick overview of the patterns we would be fishing, the crew split up, and it wasn't long before one of Jeff's good friends, David Swayze, broke the ice with his first fish of the day. The bite had certainly turned on, and with rod after rod arcing over with the weight of a fish, it was just a matter of time before my fly caught the smart end of one of these beautiful landlocked salmon.
I gotta get something. Dinner's gonna be brutal. Chris, I got one. What happened to you? That should be right in front of you, dropping. Oh, come on, baby.
A baby salmon.
A little baby salmon.
But man, he killed that.
He did kill
He hit
it.
that baby hard.
I think he tried to commit a hairy carry. Well, the ice is broken.
We could use that one for bait.
A fish is a fish, right? No, you're right. That was funny. He came right up on it.
Yeah,
he was just.
He clobbered it. He wanted it.
It's funny how small this fish is. He may even be a little foul.
Well, he wasn't. Sometimes they get tangled up in that dropper, which is probably what's going on.
That's what's going on.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened. Is he got hooked up on that on the. I think I'm still good.
Yeah, I'm going to change the dropper out though.
So Jeff, how long have you been coming up to Maine? I know that you're not a native, are you?
Yeah, I grew up down in the southern part of the state in Yarmouth, Cumberland County. Went to undergrad, Maine, forestry and wildlife.
So you are a Maine.
Yeah, when I was in college, I guided at a kind of a sister lodge to Weatherbys up on East Grand Lake, and guided actually with Bev Weatherby, the former owner of Weatherbys, second generation of Weatherby. We're low elevation, we're only 300 feet above sea level, so you can't guarantee you're going to have good winter. So when there's snow,
There it is.
Oh, there's a fish. The big one. No, oh, it is. That's a nice fish. Yeah, big fish.
Cue the fish.
Beautiful fish.
Now, should I let him run?
Well, you got current pulling on him,
Yeah, I got a current.
but and also he'll get tangled. They get tangled up.
Yeah. Jeff just put on a new fly, and that seemed to do the trick, but I'm not turning this guy at all, and he seems to be into our neighbor right now. How well do you know the neighbors?
Oh, he's good. He's a good friend of mine.
Okay.
Actually, this guy.
That's a good sign.
Yeah.
I think what happened is that second dropper now, he's got him by the tail, so he's...
They get tangled up, and then the current pulls them
That's what's
sideways.
happening right now. So I'm going to try to slide him off to the side. But a real nice fish came right out of the water. Sorry about that.
Just kidding. You don't have to get out of the way.
He definitely, I felt him hit it right away, and then I think the second hook came around and grabbed his tail.
Well, you got to jump out of him, so it was in the mouth.
Oh, there he goes.
Oh, no.
I think that broke.
Dang. Let me see.
That definitely broke.
No, you're good. You got everything. You get into the rhythm of the river, and the seasonal changes as the insect life changes, and the fish move from certain parts of the river, and depending on the time of the year, and times of the day. And
so it's not always light. It's not always like last light or anything like that.
I mean those are typically good times, but you can have phenomenal fishing in the middle of the day. And the fish cycle, the bug hatches cycle, and when the bugs are hatching,
they're
the
going to
fish
be
are
biting.
jumping.
Doesn't matter if it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
And I've got clients that like to fish at night, and they say there's epic
There he
hatches.
is. There he is.
There we go, another fish. Epic hatches in the middle of the night, 1 o'clock in the morning.
This guy's coming at me, so I'm just going to try to keep a little pressure on him. Feels like there's a little hole right underneath that tree.
I think it's the fly.
Is it?
Yeah, they're taking that dropper.
Do the net. So we just hooked up a beautiful fish earlier, and that guy was a big slob that came out of the water. This guy right now, gonna try to walk him over.
I'm gonna come below you.
Okay.
I'll go under the rod.
I'll lay him over. I don't know how much pressure to put on him.
No, he's jumping though. How many jumps is that? 8, 9?
That's like 8, 9 right there. It's funny, you look at this guy and you saw the one that just came out of the water not 5 minutes ago, and that was a beautiful fish. Look at these. Now you said that these are genetically the same as the...
as Atlantic salmon, which are the migratory saltwater anadromous species.
yeah, I was looking
Just
at
like in birds, spawning colors. Males get real yellow and they get the kite on the hook on the jaw. You see
you
right
can see
here.
it starting to develop right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Absolutely. How old is this fish?
Probably 3 years.
Beautiful fish, real healthy.
Yep.
I know dinner's probably waiting. I think I'm gonna wait 1 or 2 more casts.
Yeah,
right
1 or
now.
2 more fish.
1 or 2 more fish.
Good job.
And then thank you. I think it is the. I think it is the fly
it's the fly.
right now.
I think it could be the angler.
I don't think it's the angler.
As the sun started dropping, it was hard to peel off from the river. But one of the benefits of staying at a full-service lodge, like Weatherby's, was the first-class dinner that follows a full day of fishing.
The pastry hat is the tall one. Why do they have tall hats?
No, they're all chef toast, the big ones. Originally originated with the bishops.
I'm just going to verify that information. Ooh, do you guys want to know? So white is intended to signify cleanliness and is generally worn by highly visible head chefs. The toque is a chef's hat that dates back to the 16th century. Different heights may indicate rank within a kitchen. The 100 folds of the toque are said to represent the many different ways a chef knows how to cook an egg. That's interesting.
While an incredible dinner was being served, I got a chance to trade fish stories, tactics, and even flies with the other anglers staying at the lodge, and learned how Grand Lake Stream became one of the premier fishing destinations in the Northeast. The next morning, I was joined by my good friend and fishing buddy, Dave Hadden from Old Town Kayaks, who had introduced me to Weatherbys on Grand Lake Stream. Dave had local knowledge of the area and decided to start us out in the upper pool just below the lake.
There is another, you can kind of fish in front of that island to where he is and throw up. Well, if we go down and we kind of work the banks going down.
With the fishing slow just below the dam, Dave and I split up and worked our way downstream in search of pools holding fish.
All right, so we're gonna move down. If we move down a little bit, you might be able to, we're gonna go right down to the bridge. So it's a little tricky here. We're not really seeing any fish. And you kind of just now have to just pick water that looks fishy and then kind of work it. Now the light just isn't quite right, but but I broke one off. I'm fishing a little lighter, but that's a problem. You either don't get the bites or you get the bites and you break them off. So it's a little bit of a catch-22.
With little to no luck midstream, it was time to head to an area we knew to hold fish. And it wasn't long before the fishing and the tomfoolery between Dave and I picked up.
There he is.
There you go. Nice job.
This guy's not that big. He's right there. I'll walk him over to you. I'm gonna walk him right up to you, see if I can get him up. Right in the.
Got it.
Coming right at you. There we go.
Nice job.
Thank you. Boy, a far cry from what you had, Dave, but this is gorgeous right here, huh?
Oh, hold up. The viewers at home might not have heard that. You said a far cry from what you had,
From
Dave?
what I had earlier by the bridge.
I love this guy.
We're gonna let him come right out the back there. Let him swim right off. There you go, no worse for wear. This fishing here, because right after I had that, he set the hook on one right on that corner there.
I'll just go back up here where nothing's happening right now.
So that right there is called a white pine fly. And you can always tell that's a red pine. You can always tell the difference because based on the amount of needles. If there's 3 needles, that's red pine. If there's 5 needles, that's white pine. That's a true statement.
Chris, are we gonna release that one or are we gonna take that back, fry it up with some garlic and maybe have it for lunch?
That one was a little thin.
There we go, fish on.
There you go.
Fish on. There we go.
Looks like a nice tail on it.
Yeah, it's a good little fish.
It's a matter of finding what bait they're on. I think he's got a nymph rig right now with an indicator. He's been fishing. I'm gonna go ahead and take his net and come in behind him, see if I can get down below him, because right now in this current, tough to move some of these fish.
Yeah, and he's on the little fly, so let's try to get him in there. Let's get him in.
You tell me when you're up and you're ready.
All right, he's coming toward you. He's coming.
Oh, beautiful fish. He sees me, so I'm gonna stand right here, okay?
All right, here he comes. There we go. Nice job, buddy. Thanks a lot.
Gorgeous. Was that a female? No, that's a male.
A little piped up?
Yep.
Yeah, let's get that out. There we go.
Gorgeous fish. Big, healthy. Real nice. Got a little bit of a kite there. Definitely a male.
I had a heavier fly on first, and then I had a little flashback pheasant tail. And they just seem to like that. That little flash usually seems to get some action.
Dave, nice job, man. I'm gonna go back up on my wall.
Stomping around here, making all this noise, and who would have thought we would have caught a fish? But even a stupid guy like me gets lucky. Pretty fun. That I call the shake and bake, right, Goose?
That's the shake.
Shake and
the
bake. Oh, that's a Ricky Bobby line.
That's a total Ricky Bobby. All in all, it's just
I cannot believe you just did that. I cannot believe it.
This is a not going anywhere. Grab a Snickers. How was that fishing? The pine needle? Is that new?
So this is classic Chris. We thought it was a bull moose coming, but it was actually Chris coming through the woods. He had a scent of that, fish were near, and now he's just taking us both and put us in the penalty box.
I would cut, but I saw how long it took you to tie up.
So we'll break. We'll be back tomorrow. The stream closes tomorrow.
Are we getting older or are these lines getting thinner? I swear to God, I need a magnifying glass.
Oh, now he's hooked himself. Now, of course, he... Oh!
You're free. Okay, what we're about to do now is called the walk of shame. All right, I'm moving to the far bank. There's fish over there.
With 15 rustic cottages nestled amongst the trees and the main lodge appropriately set up to welcome all visitors to this Orvis-endorsed camp, it was easy to see why our crew fell in love with this place. With a fly shop to make any angler smile, with wall mounts and fly patterns accenting the main lodge, it was hard to move off the classic New England farmhouse porch after lunch. But the fish were waiting, and Dave and I both knew the season was coming to a close.
Let me ask you this, how often do you change your dropper? Will you fish an area and then you just change your dropper after a series of casts? Because I'm one of these creatures that have it sometimes, that next thing you know, I'll sit there and sometimes to a fault, I'll stay with the same fly, I'll stay with the same dropper, that way.
The rig you have, I mean, that golden retriever, I'm using a black stonefly with a little flashback pheasant tail on it with a nice bead to weight it down.
I think you have a little bit more weight.
Yeah, I have a little more weight, but where you are, I mean, you're swinging it right offshore. I mean, they're both going to be effective. If you have the heavier weight, you're going to get it down in front of some of the bigger fish. Yeah. You're also going to hook bottom more.
I'm going to get back after it. Enough talking. Let's see if we can't pick up another fish.
He moved on that one. Starting to move on it. There we go. Nice jumps, huh? Yeah, I was watching, there was a second fish up there, which this one is, and he was a little more active. Whoa! Just get her done. Just get her done, Chris. A little smaller fish. That's a female. Hey, you see no kype on her. There we go. That was fun. I mean, we were fishing up there. We knew there were fish around, but that one was a lot smaller, but it was cool that we actually saw it, fished to it, and actually got it to take a fly.
Here we go. Yep.
Atta boy.
Thanks, buddy.
Nice.
You gonna head this way?
Yeah, I'm coming this way with the net. Nice, Chris.
David, thank you. Yeah, I had the streamer for a while and I changed back to a dropper rig with a little tandem there. That allowed me to get down, and then I just put a little dropper fly on the tail end. Nice fish though.
Yeah, that's good fish. That's fish of the day.
God, this is just heaven on earth right here, man. I don't want to break them off.
Yeah, we saw you go tight. That's a good fish. In no hurries.
I'm gonna just back them right out, see if I can get them in the soft water. See if they'll come with me. Trying to turn them right there.
Yeah, you got them.
All I'm doing is letting the rod do its job right there. No. You saw that or that?
Yeah, he saw that coming.
Wanted no part of it. He just is digging in.
Yeah, he's digging in.
I'm gonna try to turn him to you right now.
There we go.
Nice. Well, that's right there with yours, huh?
Oh yeah, this one's solid.
Probably babied it a little bit more than I should have. Only problem was I hadn't had one for a little bit.
No,
so you get a little,
you didn't baby it at all because the
get a little gun shy.
fly just came out right there. Look at that nice kype.
Nice, fat, healthy. This is salmon. This guy probably just dropped out of Grand Lake. I'm gonna get ready and go ahead and release him. Here we go. We're gonna go ahead and drop it right in. That should take right off. It's been in the water the whole time. This water's probably about 52, 53 degrees. Beautiful fish, Dave, huh?
Good shot, man.
Awesome,
Way to
man.
go, pal.
Buddy, thanks.
Good shot, dude.
With a great day of fishing behind us, the chill in the air reminded us that winter was right around the corner, making me even more grateful for the chance to escape to Maine and enjoy the beautiful fall foliage and the bright landlocked salmon.